Hello and thanks for joining us from our studios in Israel. I'm Aaron Porras, here with ILTV's morning briefing. We've just learned Israeli jets are believed to have struck a Syrian weapons depot near the Syrian-Lebanon border. Arabic media has reported massive explosions in the region, now believed to be 4 Israeli airstrikes, with eyewitnesses seeing Israeli jets in the sky. Syria has immediately retaliated for the attack, launching anti-aircraft ballistics. At this time, no Israeli jets have been reported as hit, with the Syrian depot believed to be massively damaged beyond repair. This incident comes just a few weeks after Syria launched rockets at Israeli planes returning from a reconnaissance mission in Lebanon, actions that caused Israel to return fire and destroy the anti-aircraft batteries. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu issued a harsh warning after that counterattack, saying, quote, "If anyone attempts to harm us, we will harm them back," end quote. Clearly, tensions are continuing to ramp up between Israel and Syria, especially now that both Iran and Hezbollah are in the mix. Rocket alarms blazed across central Israel earlier this morning in an apparent false alarm as reported by the I.D.F. The alarm, which could be heard around 3 a.m. in South Tel Aviv, Holon, Bat Yam, and Atzur, comes just days after tensions with Gaza have started to rise. On Monday, after locating a terror tunnel run by the Islamic Jihad terror group, the I.D.F. bombed the tunnel. 9 Palestinian terrorists were reported dead, and another 5 were reported missing and are presumed dead. Among the terrorists killed are suspected Palestinian Islamic Jihad commanders and Hamas naval unit members. The tunnel they were building stretched from Khan Yunis in Gaza to Kibbutz Kisufim in Israel. The Iron Dome has now been set up in the area, and construction on the underground barrier wall around Gaza has been stalled due to suspected retaliation attacks on the workers. I.D.F. soldiers executed a series of arrests and raids in the West Bank early Thursday morning. They raided and sealed 2 workshops belonging to a Palestinian father and son in Hebron under suspicion the shops were being used to manufacture black market firearms. Many such workshops have been shut down over the past year and a half for producing weapons. The most popular is the Carlo-style submachine gun, assembled from assorted gun parts and pipes. Such weapons are cheap to fabricate and have been used in the vast majority of Palestinian shooting terror attacks. In other overnight operations in the West Bank, 15 wanted Palestinian men were arrested in connection to throwing rocks and violent protests. Then later, 2 teens aged 19 and 18 were arrested from the neighborhood of Atur for allegedly throwing Molotov cocktails at a parked car in the area. The car was damaged, but no injuries were reported. Despite earlier aligning with Gulf nations like Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, and the UAE against Qatar for its support for terrorism, the United States is now seemingly pulling a 180 and has approved a $1.1 billion contract with the tiny Arab peninsula. United States Secretary of State Rex Tillerson is looking to build ties with the Qatari nation instead of stoking the fire in order to create a more united front against growing Iranian influence in the region. The deal Secretary Tillerson signed is in service to Qatar's F-15QA fighter jets by building ground facilities and protected bunkers for them. According to the State Department, quote, "Qatar is an important force for political stability and economic progress in the Persian Gulf region. Our mutual defense interests anchor our relationship, and the Qatar Emery Air Force plays a predominant role in Qatar's defense," end quote. To the same end, Secretary Tillerson visited both Riyadh in Saudi Arabia and Doha in Qatar last month. Israel has just denied an American member of Amnesty International from entering Israel. The Interior Ministry has confirmed the man, who is also of Palestinian descent, was blocked because of the BDS movement. The state passed a controversial law earlier this year banning foreign visitors from entering Israel who supported the BDS boycott of Israel or the settlements. But Amnesty International is saying their employee, Raed Jarar, was barred because of his work with their organization, documenting Israel's alleged human rights violations in the Palestinian territories. Amnesty maintains that it does not support the BDS movement nor any boycott of Israel, but only calls for an end to Israel's occupation of the disputed territories. Jarar was denied entry while trying to cross from Jordan into the West Bank to visit family after learning that his father had just passed away. That's all for now. I'm Aaron Porras, and see you later with our main daily broadcast from Israel at 2 p.m. Eastern Time.